Now we're rolling. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm sitting in a DeLorean. Welcome to this episode of Matt's Rad Show. January 21st, 1981, in Belfast, Ireland, the first DeLorean rolled off the lot. On July 3rd, 1985, a movie about a crazy scientist and a kid traveling through time was released. We bought our tickets, we sat in the theater, and on October 25th, just after 1:18 a.m., we all traveled back in time. For some, it was just a movie, but for others, it became something more. Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on this episode, and welcome to this episode of Matt's Rad Show. I found an amazing Back to the Future collector. This guy has got the most amazing collection ever, and the best thing he's got is right underneath this door. Oh my gosh, you guys. He's got his own Back to the Future DeLorean, time-traveling DeLorean that he's made over the years, put together with him and a buddy of his. We're going to learn all about it today. Take a look at his collection, hear him talk about his collection and his passion for Back to the Future. I'm so excited for this. Let's get to it. This is amazing.
A lot of people will look at Back to the Future and think, oh, it's a movie about, you know, a kid and a crazy scientist. But in my opinion, it's not about those two. The main character of Back to the Future is the DeLorean Time Machine. Because at the beginning, it has a certain look to it, and then it goes somewhere, and then it comes back, and all this stuff is happening to the car. It goes to the future. It's got a whole new way of traveling with Mr. Fusion, and then later on when it can't fly anymore, you really see in part 3 that it becomes like an Old West looking car. It's got the white wall tires, and then this the apparatus that Doc built in 1955. You really see the car evolve. Fast forward to Ready Player One, you see a completely different kind of car, but it was so neat to see the DeLorean Time Machine moving around, you know, flying around, you know, I don't know, it was really exciting, man. I kind of got emotional, I guess you can say, when I saw the car again in a different role. You know, it wasn't Marty's car anymore, it wasn't Doc's car anymore, it was Parzival, you know. So if you could see, I put Parzival on the license plate back here, and then I kind of rigged up my DeLorean to kind of look like the author's car, a little bit in the movie. So anyway, Ernest Cline wanted that car to be kind of a mashup. That seems to be kind of a thing in cosplay world, is where you get 2 characters, 3 characters, and you put them together as a costume. So you can kind of imagine that concept with my particular DeLorean Time Machine. So I've got the Ghostbusters on the side there, and then I've got my oscillating kit light, which would be really cool if I can get it to, you know, David Hasselhoff to talk through this would be neat. But I don't know, that's something. There's 2 types of owners. There's DeLorean owners that love Back to the Future, and then there's that you know, try to do the time machine stuff, and then there's guys that just love the DeLorean. I'm probably more of the Back to the Future time traveling kind of guy, but some guys are very, you know, particular about, no, they would never do something like this where they would take it out and change the way the original DeLorean looked like from 1981. This is a 1981 DeLorean. Mine isn't exactly screen accurate. A lot of guys will, you know, some guys will spend a lot of money and they'll get it to be screen accurate, like perfect. You know, when I post pictures and stuff of what I've done and it's not screen accurate, some guys are like, oh, that's wrong, you can't do that kind of thing. But 9 times out of 10, when I do a show, whether I have the Mr. Fusion on it or not, you still get people not only loving to see the car, but they also ask you, is this the one from the movie? It's been fun. I love bringing this car out and seeing people and how they light up, you know, because a lot of it is people that are our age, you know, in their 30s and 40s, 50s, and they remember seeing this movie when they were younger, and it kind of almost brings them back as a time traveler to a time where things were simpler, that kind of thing. So they look at this car and I remember this, you know, and it's kind of neat to see them with kids. You know, oh, you haven't seen this movie yet, but check this out. And then they, you know, I hear stories that they go home and they find it online, or they, you know, Netflix it or whatever, and they try to get their kids to watch the movie. So it's kind of neat to see the generations.
So I've got a garage in my place too with a few collectible things, but your garage, I think, definitely has me beat on collectibles and coolness, because I don't have a DeLorean in my garage. What kind of car do you think should go in the Matt Cave? It'd be amazing to have this DeLorean in the Matt Cave, even for an episode. Maybe sometime I can get him to come up to the Matt Cave and do an episode. So much detail from all the different movies, from the new movie that was out, from all 3 movies. Just the different levels of detail in this thing is so amazing. Got the flux capacitor inside there, all the different switches and everything. So cool. Open the car door and hear the noise. That's so cool, dude. What do we got on the inside of this bad boy?
So you've got your time circuits. Wanted to go your destination time, your present time, and your last time departed dates. I chose October 26th, 1985 to print out, because that was actually the first time that in the movie the DeLorean travels through time. Right over there, you've got the plutonium chamber, which tells you how much the
on the passenger side over there.
Passenger side. Because
another time machine.
I'm also a Doctor Who fan, and I thought, well, this is also a time machine. And it's kind of neat when I've done shows and stuff. I connect to Doctor Who fans, and like, oh, cool, that's kind of neat, you know. So I like connected to a whole new world, other world.
Time machine, you get a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes, that's the speedometer.
Okay, goes up to 88 there, I'm sure. Huh?
Yep. Sound effect on that, but I don't have it. So that's your off switch.
Goes from red to green.
Yeah, that's your on and off switch for the time circuits.
Oh, so cool.
Display of the ceiling display. So these all, some of them turn on, some of them turn off. It says, when I fell off my toilet, and I came to, I drew this.
Dun, dun,
you know,
dun.
and that was the drawing that he did. And then Marty reaches in and he says, flux capacitor, you know. And and that's when Doc just has this realization. He's like, it works! I finally invented something that works! You bet your ass it works, and that kind of thing. You know, you're gonna send me home, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, we got the flux capacitor. And then this is referred to as the Christmas tree, which mine is in the, a real time machine that's got lights that go up and down kind of thing. Again, to potential DeLorean owners, if you were to actually buy a DeLorean, the first thing you should is a real fire extinguisher. Every owner normally has, sometimes it's back here, sometimes mine's in my trunk, but sometimes DeLoreans like to catch on fire. And the worst thing that you want to do is stand there, and helplessly watch your car burn up to smithereens. You know, when you own a DeLorean and you're driving, you pray a lot. You just do, because you know, it's kind of funny when faith comes up, kind of the question. It's like, believe me, you drive this and you see all these cars right next to you as you're driving, because they're taking pictures. You're praying that they're watching where they're going, that, you know, all these things that are happening, you're just praying. So yeah, I believe in God.
About to sit in the DeLorean. Oh my God, this is so cool. Really packed in here, really low. Cool.
A lot of lights now.
He brought those.
Yeah, I brought a few extra lights for the shoot. Some of the blue and red lights. I brought the blue and red lights for the shoot because you gotta do it. Oh, cool! You got the glass here and everything. Yeah. Now we're rolling. Oh my gosh, dude! I'm sitting in a DeLorean. So careless. How could you be so careless, Andy, with your collection? Got 1.21 gigawatts in the garage. You got a family inside. What are you doing? Buttons work. You press the button. This is so cool. You know you're never gonna be able to get me out of this thing now. I didn't realize like how you feel like you're in like a little jet engine.
DeLoreans are not made for claustrophobia.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, cannot believe I'm sitting in a DeLorean right now. Look at this, you guys. Cannot believe I'm sitting in a DeLorean right now. It's amazing. Look, the fluxing capacitor's back there. It's fluxing away. Engine running. 88 miles per hour. This is definitely a high point for Matt's Rad Show. Okay, there's the plutonium chamber there. Gotcha. Get a good shot of those things now, your buttons and stuff.
Away. What's that saying? One man's trash?
Right, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Popular.
Oh, I got Huey Lewis in the news. Awesome. You guys are just too loud. You're just too darn loud.
I think it was last week. Huey Lewis posted that he canceled all of his tour dates or whatever.
Oh, really?
Hearing loss.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mechanical genius kind of guy, so he's like, you know, he can't play anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw these or not.
Pressing so many buttons. Oh, it's even got the decal down here. Is that something that came with the car?
Nope,
or
I did that myself.
You did that? Okay, cool.
Just to kind of bring out DMC a little bit.
I feel like my head would hit the ceiling if the door was
You can close the door if you want.
But it like, you just grab on right here.
Yep, or pull the strap.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, there's more headroom in here than I thought.
Now remember, in the movie, somehow, Doc fits Marty and Jennifer. So it's,
the other side there.
I have no idea. I mean, that was obviously a Hollywood
magic.
Tricked movie magic.
So this is the only window that opens.
That is called a toll booth window. That's the only window that
What's up, dude?
goes up and down.
Okay, cool. How do you open the door?
So, yeah, I want to see if you could figure that out. Mine is a July 1981. Came out of Ireland. Same place that built the Titanic. Go figure.
Were all the DeLoreans built in Ireland?
Belfast, Ireland.
Really?
Is where they were.
Interesting. So they're Irish.
Plant is. Yes, they are. And actually,
DeLoreans are Irish.
St. Patrick's Day parade, and you get your car in there, and I've got, I put green stuff all over it, kind of dress it up a little bit. Yeah, she's Irish.
That's awesome.
This is there.
Now, is this light here standard on the door like that thing, or is that something that's added on?
Originally, they were regular light bulbs, and then there's upgrades that you can get. These are LEDs.
Okay.
So a lot of times, let's say you're doing a show and you're there for a couple hours. If they were regular light bulbs, you'd be worried about draining your battery.
Sure, yeah.
But it's very easy to pop these out and put LED lights in.
Yeah.
I also upgraded my brake light in the back too. Those are all LEDs.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a new fuel pump in there, which is really neat. Because a lot of people I've just had problems with the fuel pump.
Yep.
So I did the upgrade for that.
Is this where the gas is?
That's the gas flap.
It's the gas flap right there. So that is definitely something I've never seen before.
So this is an earlier model, 1981 model. So the earlier ones had this gas flap, and then later on they actually took this out because it didn't look right. So you might see a later model of 1981 or even 1982 models that don't have the gas flap. And if I wanted to get gas, I'd have to excuse me, open up the whole thing, and let's say a big gust of wind comes and boom, the whole thing goes down. So this is kind of nice. I don't really care that it has a, you know, a little bit of a rectangle there in the hood, but
yeah, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
That's kind of
boy. These DeLoreans were something else.
And that's exactly who John DeLorean was. You know, he was one of his kind of thing. He really had an idea for a car that was very different than the cars of the time, and that legacy kind of went into, you know, owning a DeLorean. Is just like, you just think differently and that kind of thing. I mean, the mechanic had no idea, so all I basically did was just lift this up, and then there's your engine. So I have a pole inside that I have to put this up to, you know, if you need engine access,
Sure.
kind of thing, which, you know, obviously you need to get to.
That's awesome. I don't think I knew that they were in the back.
Yeah. But
Is it pretty heavy?
it's heavy. It wasn't heavy a while ago until I added the fog machine. Eventually I want to take these windows out. In a real time machine in the movie, these windows, these are the, I don't know what I call them, the triangle windows. They aren't in the car itself. This thing right here is called the louvers on a DeLorean, on a stock DeLorean. The louvers obviously are there, but in a time machine you take your louvers off. You build a whole new base there to put all this fun stuff on it. But again, this was originally built as a temporary build, and then we just kind of kept it that way.
How many DeLorean owners would you say there are out there that have like time machines like you in their garage?
Time machines, I'd say there's a handful around the world. But DeLoreans themselves, they believe there's about 6,000 left out in the world. There was about 90, I think I want to say 9,000, 9,200 made. I'm not exactly sure of the exact number. But they believe there's about 6,000 left somewhere out there. Some of them are in a garage where this never opens. You know, some guys bought these cars in the 80s and they wanted to just sit on it and wait until it, you know, made them millions kind of thing. But any DeLorean owner will tell you the best thing for a DeLorean is to get it out on the road, get it running, get it, you know, get it seen, all that kind of stuff.
So how old were you when you saw Back to the Future for the first time?
Math. I'm terrible at math. Well, I am, I guess it was 1985. I was probably about 7, maybe 8 years old, maybe. I don't remember. I do remember Back to the Future 3, which came out in 1989 or 1990, I think. I think it was 1990. I remember going to a drive-in movie theater and seeing that, and that was really kind of, you know, I just, that's one of my oldest memories. I remember seeing that. I understand, it's my obsession. It's a complete, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's all I think about sometimes. It's like, you know, if something else is going on in the world, I'm like, I don't really care. What's, you know, what new toy is out there? What new cool device? How can I get this electronic thing to try to light up? Who can I talk to that knows what they're doing? I was just talking to somebody today that it was a metal. I need a metal person that knows how to weld and all that kind of stuff. Because I never, if I could go back in time to high school, I would tell myself, start taking all these like trade classes. You know, learn how to weld, learn how to, you know, your electronics, all that kind of stuff. What did I do? I went to college, I played around, and I became an art teacher. There you go. So, and how to paint. That's about it. But sorry. Yeah, I would. If anyone was watching it, it's like, what do you want to do? Learn a trade, because if you know how to weld. I mean, I had a friend come over for the Ready Player One stuff. We were trying to, you know, he knows the electronics side of that, and it's like, you know, I learn a little bit, but I get confused with that kind of stuff, and it's like, I wish I would have paid attention, you know, in high school kind of thing. But anyway, that's where I'm at.
You have to get the what was it, a Toyota truck that he wanted to get a
so
black
my
Toyota
ultimate
truck to
dream is to either get the truck, you know, not the 1985. See, back in 2015, Toyota actually put out a Toyota Tacoma 2015. I think it was a 15 or a 16 version. It was for Back to the Future, you know.
Yeah.
And they put the lights at the top, you know, those circle thing, whatever, you know. My dream would be to get something like that and then be able to haul this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So you show up in style.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like get the dock truck, show up to your show, whatever it is.
Yeah.
People see, you know, ELB on the side, scientific services, and like, what? And all of a sudden the back opens up. You get a fog machine in there.
Yeah.
DeLorean falls out from the back. That's living the dream right there.
That's the dream right there.
But again,
Yeah.
Money stops you from doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you've done pretty good.
But yeah.
Little by little. Look what you can accomplish little by little, man.
Keep dreaming and, you know.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
What John DeLorean did. He had an idea for a car that
yep.
he wanted to build a sports car that the average man could buy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did.
After spending some time in Andy's Back to the Future garage and learning about his DeLorean time machine, I began to realize that this guy was a dreamer. But he didn't just dream about owning a DeLorean time machine someday. He got to work and he made it happen. He did it. But probably the coolest thing about him is that he's not done dreaming. He has ideas, improvements, additions, more that he wants to accomplish with his DeLorean. Sharing the DeLorean with others and watching him light up as something from their childhood becomes a reality. So here's to all the dreamers out there, the ones that not only dream, but the ones that get off the couch and make it happen, the ones that take a chance, and in doing so, sometimes make the world a better place. And here's to a kid named Marty and a scientist named Emmett, who reminded us that our futures are not written yet. No one's is. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Thanks for watching this episode of Matt's Rad Show. Now then, why don't you make like a tree and get out of here, butthead?